Show you how to change the battery in a Romba 5 or 600 series robot vacuum. So this is another case where, like the Dyson video from before, where the Roomba could stop working, or the vacuum could stop working, and you might think that there's something wrong with it, but it could just be the battery. So this light might not charge correctly. It might just be yellow and have some kind of red error color here, and you might think that's the vacuum, but it's actually there's a high possibility that it's the battery. So I'm going to show you how to change the battery in a Roomba. So you turn the Roomba over, and the only tool you'll need is a screwdriver. It's got to be a Phillips head, not a flat head. And there's one thing to remember, and it's that you got to remove this brush, the side brush, before you actually remove the plate on the Roomba. And the battery actually lives inside this area underneath this bottom plate. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this screw first. And you'll see that when you turn this, it's got to be the opposite way that the brush will actually turn. So if I turn it the other way, the brush would just turn. So you wouldn't be able to remove it that way. So it's got to be counterclockwise. So I'm going to remove the screw. Now this screw is a little bit shorter than the others, so that just pops right off. And then I'll remove these guys. Now what I do is I undo these screws, and I just kind of leave them in the plate. You can kind of tell when it gets loose, and when it gets loose, that means that it's probably all the way done. I just leave them in the plate because I don't want to have to save them off to the side and then match up the holes when I put it back in. So here's this. There's 2 more in the back. So there's 4 in total. And there's this last guy. Okay, so they're all out. Now all you have to do is lift up on the plate, and they should pop right out. So it pops right out. Now you pull out your old battery. So hold on just a second. I've already just replaced the battery. So your original battery will look like this, and this is the OEM Roomba battery. And this is another battery I've just gotten off of Amazon. It was fairly cheap. I think it was $22 on Amazon Prime. So you take this battery, and you can see that this Roomba battery has these tabs, and that's for pulling the battery out. This one also has those tabs, so you just gently put this battery in here, like that. This one kind of wants to pop up. Doesn't really matter. And then you just put the plate back on, like so. And you screw, and you're going to hear that happy sound from the Roomba. Hey, I'm being fed. So you screw these guys back in. Make sure they're pretty tight in there. It'll only take a second. There's one more to go. The back plate. And then you put this guy back in here, and you put that short screw on here, and you screw this guy back in last. You screw him in clockwise. And then you got to make sure to charge this guy in the charger for as long as it takes, actually. So don't use this once you change the batteries. You got to make sure it's charged first. So that's how you change the battery in a Roomba 600 or 500 series robot vacuum.